Because I'm not rich, I don't have the money for some crazy awesome bass pedals like Mike from Royal Blood. So unfortunately, I'm going to be having to use a guitar to write my song. I know, boo. But it's not lost on me that they're a two-piece and they write all their songs and guitar riffs on bass and drums. So I'm actually going to have a special alteration to my guitar to make it a bass, just for this video. Let me get it real quick. Let's see, we got our bass right here now. Nice, we're in business. As always, the full song will be at the end of the video, and because of high demand for downloads and streaming capabilities of the song, I have put them on Spotify and iTunes, as well as all the previous songs that you may have liked in my other videos, so be sure to check those out. Royal Blood has been one of my favorite bands for quite a while now, ever since I saw their music shared on Muse's subreddit. I think it was Out of the Black and Little Monster that they shared specifically. And then I also checked in Muse's personally curated Spotify playlist, and it was actually listed there as well, Out of the Black was. I actually have a live recording of the first time I heard it. There's this new band, Royal Blood, that I see. It has a cool title too. I mean, Out of the Black. Let's check it out. Sounds pretty cool. Needless to say, I was a fan. I'm going to be seeing them live in a couple months now, and I figured it would be a perfect time to cover them. Step 1 is to listen to a lot of Muse and Queens of the Stone Age. Wait, that's not the right song. Step 2 would be to put your bass pedals in order and get the effects already, but because I don't have, a lot of money, I have to do it on my budget bass. Really? Because they have a bassist, they don't play chords in the same way that a lot of other bands do. Almost every part of every song in their music is monophonic, which means that it's one note being played at a time. There's very rare times when they'll have two notes being played at a time. For example, they do that in Out of the Black and Hook, Line, and Sinker. Like, our main riff will have to feature one note played at a time, which is not really that much of a limitation at all, but, They like to bounce octaves, similarly to Queens of the Stone Age and Muse. They like to do that in songs like Out of the Black, Look Like You Know, Little Monster, Hook, Line, and Sinker. They also like to use hammer-ons and pull-offs to get kind of like a more dynamic sound. They do that in Come On Over, you hear that on the lead part in the intro. They do that on Little Monster and Figure It Out as well. Obviously, because the bass and the guitar in Royal Blood are one instrument, both have to be playing the exact same thing. So you can't have like a bass solo going over a guitar riff that's playing something different, because Mike only has the bass playing both at the same time. So you can't really experiment too much with that. You can cut out the bass or the guitar at any given time in order to give a solo to one of the other instruments, but you can't play both at the same time playing something different. So let's come up with our main riff. I'd recommend putting your guitar from standard to drop D, which means taking the low note, changing this one from an E to a D. This usually makes songs easier to play, and it usually makes your songs sound heavier and darker because they're a little bit lower. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I mean, it's your guitar, your strings, your song. You do whatever you want, man. You be you. Fly like an eagle. Alright, let's do it. So you can play variations on the main riff that you come up with. You can kind of like mute the strings to get a different vibe for the verses while repeating the same riff. And then in the chorus, you do something a little bit simpler maybe. It doesn't have to be, but you can do something a little more simple to let the vocals shine through. So I'm going to come up with an outro riff at this point, like they have in I Only Lie When I Love You, or Loose Change. Add a little extra oomph into their riff. Let's see if I can come up with anything. While I was doing some of the drums up here in red, I actually thought of a really cool idea of maybe a tempo change in the outro to make the riff even more epic. So I'm going to kind of try to mash the two styles of maybe Out of the Black and Little Monster together. And instead of playing the main riffs that I had shown you guys, I'm going to add a new one, which I'll give you a little sneak peek of now. It goes like this. You get the idea though. So it's going to be kind of like a Little Monster for the whole song, maybe a little bit of a mix of hook, line, and sinker, and then in the outro it's going to go crazy like How Did We Get So Dark and Out of the Black. Now I just got to fill in the actual bass part, not my fake bass part. Got some really simple strings. Updated strings. I changed up the song just a tad because it was sounding exactly like Little Monster for pretty much the first 2/3 of the song. There's a different chorus now that sounds a little bit like Out of the Black. So it'll be a bit more of a mixture of different songs instead of just sounding like one of them. For a melody, I've noticed Mike tries to be smooth in the verses, but then pushes his voice to his threshold during the choruses, and sometimes even adds like backing choirs to really give the music a stronger punch. He does that in like Lights Out or I Only Lie When I Love You. Both of those are really high for him, like the whole time. He's almost struggling to get there, but that really gives it like a dramatic, epic feel. I'm going to try to be chill in the verses a little bit. Alright, that's a good rough idea for a vocal melody for the verses. Lyrical topics are usually about some kind of disturbed relationship, maybe metaphorically, but definitely using hyperbolic imagery, like she's creeping. She wants in, here and now, breaking doors. I can't keep her out. There we go, she's breaking into our house. Perfect. So there's also something else they do with their vocals. They have an effect called delay. Delay basically gives you a little bit of an echo effect. So I'll show you what the vocals sound like without it, and then I'll show you what they sound like with it. I'll take you down with my help. You'll disappear. So not bad, but if you want to get that Royal Blood classic feel, I'm going to add some stereo delay here. You see here, it tells you like the time for the feedback, the level in the mix that it's going to be, all that different stuff. So I'm going to turn that on, and this is what the new vocals sound like. I'll take you down with my help. You'll disappear. I'm going to be showing you guys the final product in just 1 second. It came out pretty good. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and if you like the content. And I will be coming out with more videos in this series shortly. Any information you could need will be in the description, like similar songs I've written to this one. And enjoy! I hear her now, breaking doors, can't keep her out. I see why she broke the skin. She's not a rose.